Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us again on Realty Check, your local Las Vegas real estate news show where we talk everything real estate, what's going on in the city, straight from the professionals. I'm your host, Trish Williams, and we have a very interesting show for you today, so stay tuned. If you are following our show, please take a moment, like, comment, share with your friends. Download us on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you're listening. If you download our show, you'll get notified every week when we post a new show. So, on that note, let's welcome our guest today. We have Lindsay Wallace. He is the sales director at Driggs Title Agency.
Yes.
Lindsay, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I also am a realtor. I have I'm a licensed realtor with Keller Williams. That's how I met you, Trish.
Absolutely.
And but for the last 2.5 years, I've been director of sales for Driggs Title. Driggs Title is a title company that operates currently in 2 states. That's Arizona and Nevada. And we're very progressive. We have lots of neat things that we do for our clients. And so I keep my hand in both camps, if you like.
And you know, that is definitely a badge of experience. I know that you know your stuff, and that's why I'm very excited to have you here on the show today.
Thank you for saying that.
Yes, thank you. So, Lindsay, we open up every show with inventory. So we talk about, you know, it's almost a bad word these days for buyers when we talk inventory because it is crazy. But right now in Las Vegas, single-family residences, Las Vegas only, 1994 is our number of single-family homes on the market. That was a good year. That is not a good number for inventory.
No, I hear that. In fact, I was looking at numbers prior to coming in here, said that we have less than a month's worth of inventory, but that kind of number would say that's 2 weeks.
That is 2 weeks inventory. I agree with that. That's across all price points. So I've been out, you know, shopping with a couple buyers recently, and it's hard. It is hard out there. It's like, you know, a house is listed right away. There's multiple offers, and it's competitive. It is getting tough for buyers.
I had a situation, personal situation with that. My wife and I are looking to buy a home. I have found 2 homes that we liked, and in both instances, we went and looked at the house. Said, what do you think? Should we buy this? Should we make an offer on this? Yeah, I'll do it in the morning. And I called the next morning. Oh, we're really sorry. We went under contract last night.
Yeah, it was just listed.
It's like crazy.
A saying I heard, I think last year was the first time I heard the saying, if you sleep on it, you might not be sleeping in it.
That's correct.
So you have to make an instant decision these days, which is tough. And that is really interesting to hear too, is that even us realtors struggle with it when we're purchasing homes. We have no magic way around this. This is the market we're in. We have to be just as competitive as anybody else. So it is. It's a struggle for buyers, no matter who you are.
That's absolutely true.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Another thing that I think is a little bit interesting to me, because last week we were around 150, 160 in price reductions. This week we've had 203. Still, not tremendous amount of price reductions, but I am seeing that number creep up. So that's a little bit, given the low inventory that we have right now, it's interesting to me that we have even up to 200 in price reductions.
But you know what? I think the reason for that is that I saw a movie, you know, greed is a wonderful thing.
Yes.
And I apologize for saying that, but
it's true.
I think a lot of people have unrealistic expectations of what their property is worth.
Yes.
And while it's an intense seller's market right now, there reaches a point where it's just too expensive for what you're selling.
Yes.
And I think, so people are getting a dose of reality.
Yeah.
And that's why that's happening.
That's what I think as well. And I think that even though buyers are willing to pay willing to pay above list price, they're still not.
There's a limit to it. There's a limit.
There's still some holdback. They're still saying like, okay, wait, but I'm stopping there. So there is a little bit of reality kick in there. So today's show, we're going to talk about something new and upcoming that people are going to start learning about here in Vegas. They're going to start hearing a lot about, and it's already in the works. Assembly Bill 363. So what this Assembly Bill is it's about legalizing short-term rentals in Clark County. Airbnbs, VRBO, those types of vacation rentals, daily rentals. So right now, are they legal in Clark County?
No, not at the moment.
Yes.
But they will be.
They will be. So July 1st is the date that this is
Yes.
supposed to be going in effect. And my understanding on reading the information that was out there on this Assembly Bill is that basically what brought this to Clark County's attention is that we need to revise this regulation is because people are doing it whether it's legal or not. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I have friends who have owned homes and have, short-term rented them and doing it on the down low, if you like.
Yeah.
The problem is that whenever you try and regulate people, they're going to find creative ways to get around it. And that's what's been happening. People are doing it. And I guess the state probably just finally decided, hey, we're not going to be able to stop this. In fact, if I can give an example, it's kind of like we all use Uber today.
Right.
Remember when Uber came out and all the taxi drivers in Las Vegas had a fit about, no, you can't, that can't be legal, you can't do this. Well, Uber is everywhere. Does it affect their business? Perhaps a little. Yeah. But they still get they get their share of the business. And my feeling on that is that we live in a country where whoever builds the better mousetrap should win. Yeah. Why are we regulating and protecting, having a protected class of operator versus, and in the case of this kind of stuff, it's like, why are we protecting giant conglomerate hotels from the consumer?
Yeah, absolutely. And some people, if you have say a party of 5 or a big family, like I have a big family. We're taking a family vacation next weekend. There's 7 of us. Do you know what it would cost for a hotel room for that?
It's a fortune.
Of course, or you're all in separate rooms, and sometimes you would rather, and that's our preference when we go on vacation, we'd rather be in a house. Well, we'd rather have a home to stay in.
And you want to be able to eat the food you want to eat.
Yeah.
And you want to have the ability to make that choice.
Right.
So we've done it, we've gone and rented a home. And what I like about it, I did it in London 2 years ago. And my wife and I went there. It had a kitchen and that. I don't mind eating out. I enjoy it very much.
Absolutely.
But not every meal on a 1-week vacation.
Absolutely.
I want to be able to sit in the house, have breakfast, or maybe make a sandwich in the evening. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just feels like when you go take a trip like that, it's more comfortable.
It is.
You're in a hotel room. You got to go downstairs to get something to eat or order room service. And while it's good to be pampered, sometimes it's good to feel more relaxed.
Yeah, and there's a situation where hotels are preferred.
Absolutely.
And especially if you're going to be doing a lot of stuff around that casino. Yeah. Yeah, in that case, why would you stay off the strip? You want to be right there. So there's a little bit of it for everybody. I feel like it's something that is a case by case basis, and your preference and your whoever's on the trip at the time, what's going to work for you. So right now, Clark County has, on average, been responding to roughly 800 short-term rental cases per year because it's not legal, and these are the ones that actually got turned in. So that's quite a bit. I'm sure that their enforcement agencies have been pretty busy just working on all of this stuff as it is and trying to enforce something that people are doing regardless of whether it's legal or not. So that's why they came to the point where they decided they needed to revise this.
A number of years ago, Paris decided that they were going to have meters. In Paris, there's no parking meters. So they decided they were introducing parking meters because it was going to provide this revenue for the city. And the Parisians went out in force and parked their cars all over the city and didn't put any money in the meters. And the whole system got overrun by people getting tickets that they scrapped the ID and took them out.
Yeah.
So, people are going to get what they're going to get.
People are speaking out right now.
Yes, freedom, power to the people.
Power to the people. They're saying, we're not taking this, we're doing it anyways. And yeah, at some point in time, the city's like, okay, we got to do something about this.
Exactly.
So, right now, they're currently illegal. That's what this bill is going to be addressing, and July 1st is the date that they're going to be working on this. So under the bill, now of course, the city, Clark County, they've got to get paid, right?
Absolutely.
They're looking at this. They're like, we're issuing these tickets. We're going after these people, but it's just not, where the work that's being put into trying to regulate something that they've made illegal is probably more of a cost to them than anything. So right now they're saying if we legalize it, we're going to impose some regulations.
Absolutely, that's what they're doing, and it's understandable. There's a revenue stream there. They're going to charge for a license. They'll have an annual license. You have to have a business license, and there'll be an annual fee to be a provider of that service.
Correct.
You have to have insurance. You also have to have a local rep in the area 7/24 to help. So if I rent your Airbnb, I'll call it that.
Okay.
You need to be able to provide me the ability. I need a phone number that I can call anytime.
If there's an emergency.
If there's an emergency, any problem, I've got someone I can call.
Okay.
So what that does, that starts bringing in this idea of what they call a facilitator.
Okay.
And so I think there'll be a whole new industry spring up.
It'll create jobs.
It will create jobs here in Las Vegas.
Yes.
The other thing is they've got maximum occupancy.
Okay.
You cannot have more than 16 people living in the rental during the stay. And you think, well, 16, that's a lot of people.
16 people in one house is a lot.
That's a lot. But some of these Airbnbs, 4 or 5 bedrooms, it's a family reunion kind of a situation.
Yeah.
And so they've got that. The other thing I was reading was that you can only own under your license if you have up to 5 properties. So you know what that's going to do. It's just I'm the Lindsay Wallace Corporation, and I own 5.
Yeah.
I'm the Wallace Corporation, and I own 5.
Yeah, you can create new corporations.
I'm the ALW Corporation, and I own 5.
Yeah.
For people who have the wherewithal and means to do it.
Yeah, you can create corporations that are individual entities in all kinds of names. So that's definitely. I also seen that they're going to be prohibiting party homes.
Yes.
So I do feel like there's going to be a lot of neighborhood concern.
I think so.
When this issue has come about and it is legalized. I mean, do you want to live across the street from an Airbnb?
Probably not. But that's just me.
Yeah.
And I'm an old fogey. So anyway, but no, I agree.
Yeah.
I think what will happen, I'll make a prediction that HOAs will get more stringent about what they will allow in the way of short-term rentals. Even though the state can mandate that it's legal, HOAs within their own rights can also say, no, not in our community. You're not doing it.
Absolutely. And I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen is this is going to be something that's spread around the non-HOA communities because the HOAs, once they see that it's legal and it becomes an issue with their homeowners get to vote on what happens within their community. And I feel like it will be voted out of every association. So people that are looking to purchase a home to use as a vacation rental should probably stay away from associations.
Yes. There's another possibility of something could happen. I have a son-in-law who just purchased or built a beautiful home in St. George, Utah.
Okay.
3 bedrooms. 3 stories on a community-built lagoon.
Nice.
And But that whole community is targeted around Airbnbs. So in other words, the developer actually provides the services for, for the maintenance, for the cleanup. After people are finished, you send in your cleaning teams to clean the property, you make it ready for the next.
Yeah.
And they take a piece of the rental as a result of that.
Absolutely.
And I think that will happen.
Yeah, they do that in Bryan Head as well. There's some condo communities
Yes.
there that are in an association, and they have a service. You can, opt into the service that will market it, manage it, clean it up afterwards. There's a couple places here that do that. I believe Jewel does it downtown.
Okay.
So there's a couple of the condo hotels that do that here in Vegas. So most definitely there will be some communities that do that. And as homeowners, traditional regular homeowners that are buying a home to live in and occupy, that might be something they want to review in that HOA package and CC&R to know if that's the type of community they're moving into, and if it concerns them.
That's correct, because what I was reading in the bill, it said if you're an owner-occupier, you can rent for as short as one night. But if you're a non-owner, so in other words, a non-resident owner, it has to be 2 nights minimum.
Okay.
So in other words, I own a home personally in St. George.
Okay.
And it's a second home for my wife and I. I don't rent it out.
Yeah.
But under the rules here in Nevada, I would have to rent it out for more than one. It would have to be more than one night. It would have to be 2 nights.
Okay.
And but I thought it was an interesting set of circumstances was the fact that I never really thought about people like, I own a home here in Las Vegas, in Henderson actually, and I haven't considered renting a room in my house for people coming in to town.
Yeah.
We have people coming in all the time and staying with us because we live in Vegas.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm very popular with my friends in Scotland and who want to come over. Oh, can we come and stay with you in Scotland? From Scotland. The weather's terrible. We'd like to come over and stay in Las Vegas.
Of
And they
course.
come and stay with me for free.
Right.
I can now start charging them.
I'm sure they're not going to be happy about
and
that.
being Scottish, they won't come anymore.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure your friends are going to be very disappointed about that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, most definitely. And then another thing that is interesting, and this has always been when people talked about short-term rent. I mean, this became popular a few years ago. This VRBO, Airbnb thing, and people were like, "Hey, why isn't Vegas allowing it?"
Exactly.
And the thing was always, my answer was always, because the casinos, Vegas gets so much money from casino revenue. The casinos are paying so much to the county, the city. Of course, it's going to stop there. So that was always a concern, and now obviously that's going to be revised. But they are doing a limitation of proximity to the resort hotels.
Yeah, well, what they're saying is that they have 2 limitations I read. One said you couldn't be within 2,500 feet of a major hotel, which is half a mile.
Yeah,
right?
that's just off the strip.
It's just
There's no houses on the strip.
There's no houses on the strip, right? And then, but in a community where there's already we'll call it an Airbnb again, you cannot have another Airbnb within 200 yards. So, because it said
Approximately how big is 200 yards?
200 yards is like 2 football fields.
Okay.
So start thinking about your own community. Let's say you live in a gated community like I do.
Yeah.
That means my community has about 3 areas. We've got 3 pools in the community. That means the state would be limiting it to probably you couldn't have any more than 3 or 4 Airbnbs in our community.
Yeah. And I feel like that's another protection for the homeowners that live in the community, because would you like to be the only owner occupant on a street filled of Airbnbs.
Yeah, and everyone's having every night's a party.
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to have limitations on party houses.
That is true.
We'll
That's true.
see how that works out,
Yeah.
because people come to Vegas to party, and I don't know. I feel like that's not going to work out too well.
Well, they say it too, that when I looked up the definition of a party house, and it was actually more, it's like you can't have a wedding at the place, which is a party. So you cannot rent a house and then conduct a wedding there and have a party there. That's what it says in the law. So it was pretty, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to say, fine, you want to rent this property in Vegas and it's going to save you money, that's great. But you're not going to be able to do the raucous, crazy things you do on the Strip, because Las Vegas and Henderson and the likes are communities where people live there. And I don't know about you, I don't go down to the Strip very much. I go down to see a show occasionally or to have dinner in a nice name brand restaurant.
Yeah.
But I'm not down there partying.
Oh, no, I try to stay away from it.
I stay away from it completely.
Yeah.
And so I think they're just trying to protect the community, that's all.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing.
Yeah. You know, when I grew up in Vegas, I grew up in Vegas, but before social media and all of that stuff and just, everything, people from other states used to ask me what casino I lived in Vegas, because it was not common knowledge amongst a lot of people that Vegas actually had homes.
It's a real place. In fact, yeah, it's kind of funny. My wife and I moved here 8 years ago, and I wasn't sure when I was moving. I moved here for a job opportunity. I wanted to come and get into real estate.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I came here.
Wow.
And I had retired from another business and thought, well, I had family here. If I go down to Vegas, what will I do? Because I don't want to sit at home, do nothing.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I'll do real estate, because I knew real estate. And came down here, and I wasn't sure what I was getting into. But then I realized that once you live here, people who live in Las Vegas, they see the Strip and it's beautiful, the lights are beautiful, but they don't really go down there much.
No.
It's only on very special occasions.
Absolutely.
So
I went down, my husband and I, about a year ago, we went down and just toured the Strip as if we were tourists.
Yes.
It really felt like we were on vacation.
Yes.
It really did, because we don't ever go down there. So
Did you go down there during the COVID when everything was shut down?
No, I did not.
My wife and I drove down the
Did you?
Strip. It was empty. It was the strangest feeling to drive around and see nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing on the Strip.
Yeah, I was seeing videos of people riding their bicycles down there with no cars. It was it was a little eerie.
It's back,
Kinda weird.
though. Vegas is back.
Yeah, for sure. It's back, and it's back strong. Oh my gosh. So for people that are out there that are concerned about this and how it's going to affect their neighborhood, their community, everything, there is a survey. Clark County does have a survey that anybody that lives in the area that is a resident of Clark County can fill it out. I did my survey. I gave my little input on my opinion there. And that is www.clarkcounty.gov/survey. We'll have it posted on the link if you guys want to check that out and get some more information on that. So that's just so everybody has a chance to put their input, and I do think that it's great that they're allowing that.
I think so.
Yeah, because it asks a lot of concerns about would you want to have a short-term rental in your community? Would you how many people do you think it should be limited to? It just lets you put in your opinion.
I agree.
So we talked about having it close to the Strip and what the city's likely doing for that. Do you think this is going to actually impact revenue on the Strip?
I don't think so. Let me tell you why I don't think so. I don't believe that the hotel revenue from renting rooms is the biggest part of the revenue that these gigantic hotels produce.
They still comp many rooms.
And it's like, and how often do you see people coming in town? Well, I'm staying in the XYZ and my room rate was only $50. It's like, that is just the convenience to get you in there. They're making their money on the gaming and all the entertaining things they provide. That's where the money is.
Yeah.
So I don't think, I mean, I seriously doubt if it will have a huge impact.
Yeah.
And to cover itself, the state is making sure that it will not have an impact on the monies the state gathers, because they're requiring, if you own one of these properties, you report quarterly the amount of nights that you rented it, and you pay your taxes, the room rental taxes, quarterly.
Oh, wow.
So I don't think it'll affect the Strip. I think people will still go down to the Strip and be having their time there and enjoying it, but it will perhaps be a little bit more, it's more of a convenience thing. And it may actually bring more families to Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
You know, where the family can all be there, the kids, and maybe a babysitter could look after the little ones when the family go down on the Strip. And you don't, and let's be honest, when you go to the casino, if you got little kids, you're not walking through the casino, you're following the trail that they've marked that you can walk through, because children are not allowed on the casino floor.
Absolutely.
So I don't think, I personally don't think it'll impact much.
And one thing, excuse me, one thing that vacation rentals will never be able to do on your traditional rental is, if you have a great night at the blackjack table, you're not getting a room comped in your in your Airbnb. It's not happening.
No,
Yet
I
the
still want you to
casinos will do
pay
that.
me my fee.
Yeah, you're still paying that
absolutely.
fee, but you're staying in one of the casinos. You kill it downstairs. You're gonna have a few nights comped
Yeah,
and maybe a free
course.
dinner or something
Yeah.
like that. So there's definitely going to be some pros and cons there, and it's up to the individual on what their preference is when they're taking that vacation. And another thing you said, there are very minimal, but there are some things that children can do in Vegas, very minimal, but there are some attractions, some things, and a lot of them are not on the Strip.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're staying off the Strip, you might have a nanny or somebody take the kids out for the day while the parents go play in the casinos and
the big water parks.
things like that. So
going to take all the dam pictures you want at the Boulder Dam. And all the kind of stuff that we have. Yeah. I'm actually, when I first moved to Vegas, I wasn't sure there was much to do here except gambling. But that's not true. There's so many things that we have to offer.
Absolutely.
And, so I think it's positive. I read some of the notes that people had posted, and some of them were not very kind to the person who introduced the bill.
Oh, yeah.
Saying stuff like, well, they're obviously in the pocket of the big hotels, the lobbies for the big hotels, and trying to do that and to prevent the little guy from getting his piece of the pie. And to be honest, I'm not sure that's the case. But I think I'm open to allowing people, I like to be an entrepreneur.
Free enterprise.
Free enterprise is good for me.
Absolutely. I agree with that too. And I do think, as you pay for a home, you're a homeowner on some level, if there's no HOA or restrictions involved, as long as you're abiding by the rules and regulations to make things right. If you're the owner of any property, you should be able to use it to your preference. You paid for it, and houses are not cheap. So
and it's getting higher and higher in Vegas as people move into the state.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. So from a real estate perspective, is there going to be a high demand for vacation rentals? Do you think this is going to, I can't even imagine real estate being any more of a frenzy than it is right now in Vegas, but I feel like this is going to bring in the flood of even more buyers, right? More investors.
And here's the other thing. Like I mentioned earlier, my son-in-law bought that mansion in St. George, right? Mm-hmm. He bought it as a second home, but with the idea he would Air BnB it. Mm-hmm. And it basically pays for itself.
I know.
So there's going to be a lot of people that have the wherewithal to afford to buy properties who are going to come and say, you know what, I go to Vegas 5 or 6 times a year. When I do, I want to have a good time. I want to enjoy myself. The rest of the time, why not rent that property out?
Right.
And have it becomes a revenue source for them. And a lot of people, I know with my son-in-law, it's all about the dollar. So it's all about, I'll buy this because it will pay for itself. I will have the benefits of it while other people will pay to have it. And I think there'll be a lot of investment opportunities coming that way. And I think some people who live in Las Vegas will then have other ideas about the possibilities of saying, you know what, maybe I'll buy a second home here in Las Vegas and Airbnb it. Because for just a few nights a month, I can make the same as I make on a rental, on a full-time rental with someone that's living in the house for, paying $2,000 a month to live in that house. If I can Airbnb it for $300 a night, $400 a night, I only have to have it occupied 5 nights to pay the rent.
Absolutely.
So I think there'll be people looking at the financial aspect and say, hey, this is a good potential opportunity for me. Plus, so I'll get revenue from it. Plus, I'll get the appreciation which we are seeing here in Las Vegas right now, which is
tremendous.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
25% in different neighborhoods over the last year and stuff. It's like crazy.
Absolutely. I read an article, and I know this is off topic a bit, but I read an article just yesterday posted on Inman News, and it's so contradicting of everything that we think that we know right now. Is, you hear everybody talking about rent prices, for instance, that are rising so fast and rapidly, and they're outpacing wage increases. However, the data is showing opposite. Wage increases are actually outpacing rental increases. Yeah, really? So they had data and statistics nationwide that showed that is the opposite of what it's perceived to us at the moment. So that was interesting. I had to reread it a couple times to make sure I wasn't reading it wrong. Yeah, so
that's surprising.
Yeah, that is surprising. And I believe the wage increases are a result of not being able to get people to go to work right now.
That's exactly right.
They're having to pay more to incentivize them to show up, and there's a lot of things going on right now. But overall, there is last year in vacation rentals, the median price for vacation rental homes or properties from what they analyzed was about 33%, where median price of single family homes rose about 23%. So there is more demand, and people are paying more for homes that can be vacation rentals.
Yes.
So there is definitely some high demand for that. And I think with Vegas being Vegas, we're going to see a huge increase of people wanting to purchase those homes.
I think so. I mentioned I own a second home in St. George, but I own that house free and clear, right? And however, someone who's looking to do something like have a second home, not everyone is in a position where they can afford that second home and the mortgage associated with it, etc. But this gives them the opportunity to have someone else pay for it and still be able to take advantage of it themselves. If I rent you my house, I own the house, but I can't use the facilities.
Yeah.
If I Airbnb you the house, I can use it on the times when it's not rented out, and I can specify when it will be rented out and when I will be using it.
Yeah, you can block your times.
Yeah, so it's the best of both worlds. You get the appreciation, you get the income to cover it, and you get the benefits of using the facilities.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a great thing. I think that there's going to be a lot of demand for it. So good job, Clark County. We rarely say that. So good job. Good job for now. We'll see how this all works out. Lindsay, how do people reach out to you if they have questions? And most definitely, if they're looking for even escrow and title services, how do people reach you for anything?
Okay, the best way to reach me is is my office number is 702-852-1540. However, if it's after hours, I don't normally do this, but here's my cell phone. It's 801-362-2904. Just feel free to call me anytime. I'll be happy to help.
Well, that's wonderful. And even agents out there that are looking for somebody that knows their stuff to do their escrow work and go on that with, Lindsay's a great contact for that.
Thank you.
And obviously knows what he's talking about in real estate, so he'd be a great resource there as well. You guys know how to reach me, 702-308-2878. Trish Williams, you can message me on wherever you're watching or listening, and we will look forward to seeing you guys again next week on the show. Thank you for tuning in. Again, please like, comment, share with your friends, and we will be seeing you again next week. Have a wonderful day.